Can I say
Yeah.
something?
Yeah.
I'm super glad it's done.
You Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Paper Society, a community for those who loves books and loves to yap like us.
I'm Aya,
and I'm Anin.
and today we'll be your friends talking about the fourth and
Final.
final chapter of How to Win Friends and Influence People.
Wow, how do you feel reading the book?
Ooh, actually, I'm kind of glad.
You're glad that
I'm
it's
glad.
over?
I'm glad it's over. Me and Dale Carnegie, especially his third chapter, we did not click.
You debated a
I
lot.
debated a lot. We argued a lot, but this chapter, thankfully, I understood.
You understood better.
I didn't argue with it this time.
Okay,
I was
you
like,
agree
I
more.
agreed more. I accepted it, and I was like, okay, that makes sense.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah.
So it was good for me. It was a great final part.
Okay, a good ending.
It was a
for
good
you.
ending. What about you?
Oh, for me, it's a bit bittersweet. You know,
the
this
Pisces
book,
in her. Sorry.
this book has been with us for like a month.
Mhm.
And before we started the podcast, I actually only read few chapters.
Oh my god! Wait, this revelation last night when she told me, she was like, actually, I've already read the book before, and I was like, wait, really? Yeah, but I never made it past the second chapter. So, like the past years, when she has read this book like 2 years ago, she just kept repeating the first and second part.
Yeah, well, in my defense, the third part has 12 chapters.
No, so
guys.
see now you know why I argued with it.
Yeah.
It was so difficult for me.
Yeah, but it's still a good ending for
It
me.
was a great ending.
Yeah. So for this part, the fourth part, the title was "Be a Leader: How to Change People Without Giving Offense or Arousing Resentment." And I think when we first read the title, especially we also mentioned this in the previous episode, we were thinking that it would be more like a management book.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but it wasn't really about that. Reading this part, it kind of felt like, oh, how does people actually grow, and what kind of roles do other people play into that growth?
Yeah. And I think a major part of this section was talking about how people tend to become better version of themselves when they feel more encouraged
Yeah.
rather than judged for doing
Agree.
so.
Mhm.
So Carnegie essentially talks about in his 9 principles basically like how you can start by giving them appreciation,
Mhm.
how you can let people save their face,
Yeah.
how you can encourage others to
Mhm.
grow or to progress, or even by giving people certain reputations or expectations to live for.
Mhm.
And while all these techniques are inherently different, there's an underlying belief that people will grow faster
Mhm.
when they feel capable of doing so.
Okay. Do you
Yeah.
have like someone like that in your life? Someone that made you believe that you were capable of
Ooh.
something?
Yes.
Mhm.
But ironically, it's not like my parents.
Okay.
So this basically was like a teacher that I looked up to when I was in high school.
school?
I'm pretty sure, yeah. So like about 9-10 years ago
Okay.
almost. And basically what they said to me that day changed the whole trajectory of my life.
Okay.
So back then, as typically like we eldest daughters are,
Mhm.
we kind of follow in the steps of our parents. Not
Mhm.
necessarily that we don't have our own dreams,
Mhm.
but like their dreams become ours as well because
Yeah.
we wanna make them proud,
Yeah.
and we just wanna be in that like general vicinity of like the
Mhm.
same passions and the same
Mhm.
dreams and stuff like that. But so in my head, I was just like, oh, I'll take law like my parents. I'll go to the same prestigious university.
Mhm.
I'll like work hard to get there. So in my head, the entire time, just like I need to be this person.
Yeah.
So also like not to carry the burden of that for my siblings as well.
Mhm.
But at least like ada yang lanjutin gitu in our
Mhm.
family. But one day this teacher pulled me aside and we were gonna talk about grades, and I like
Mhm.
was super worried because like I thought like I was gonna get a bad grade or something.
Okay.
But he pulled me aside and he was like, so talk to me, aside from what your parents think you can be, like
Mhm.
follow them,
Mhm.
or like aside from like your parents' dream, what do you want?
Okay.
And that was probably the first time I've ever been like, oh, I've never thought of that before.
Mhm.
Like I never thought of it. And that kind of like opened up like more opportunities. But obviously because I didn't really know what to do, because my entire life I was just like building up to like, oh, I probably will just follow in my parents' footsteps. So I was like, I don't really know what to do.
Mhm.
And then this teacher went and said, hey, I know this is probably not in your like idea vicinity or
Mhm.
like inspiration or anything, but I know you like cooking. I know
Mm-hmm.
you like food. I know you have those, and those are your hobbies, but have you ever thought of it being part of your education? And that's when
Okay.
food science came in.
Part of your profession in the future as
Exactly,
well.
like
Mm-hmm.
career and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I never thought of it that way. So when he said that, I immediately like went searching about it. I was like, oh, what is this? And
Okay.
I was like hooked. Do you know like when you get something addictive and you
Uh-huh.
just come like continuously like
Yeah,
researching
yeah, yeah,
about it
yeah,
and you
yeah, yeah,
just really
yeah.
want to know? That's how I felt. The
Okay.
literally like the day after, and I was like thinking about it.
Uh-huh.
That changed my entire high school life
Yeah,
trajectory.
yeah,
Because
yeah, yeah.
initially I was gonna take like history,
Uh-huh.
social sciences, psychology,
Uh-huh.
business, and all of that just to get into the IPS side, which is like the law side,
Oh,
right? Like this, like the social side.
uh-huh.
But then literally went from those classes to biology and chemistry. Like that would be a regular person's nightmare,
Uh-huh. Yeah,
right? But
yeah.
for me, I was just like, you know what? If this is what I have to do to get to food science,
Mm-hmm.
I'd have to do it. And if I didn't take that, if I
Mm-hmm.
didn't take that step, and if I that teacher didn't tell me,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I would be here today. Like I
You
wouldn't be studying food science.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we wouldn't have met.
We wouldn't have met, and that was like the whole reason I got into APU anyways,
Yeah, yeah,
because I didn't
yeah.
get accepted in like the previous unis I wanted to get
Mm-hmm.
to.
No, but
Yeah.
I think one of the reason why that comment really stayed with you, even
Mhm.
after all of these years, was
Mhm.
that your teacher saw something in you, saw a potential in you,
Yeah.
and then even before you realized it, he
Yeah.
believed that you're capable of so much more than just following your parents' footsteps.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And that kind of expectation
Mm-hmm.
is so great
Yeah.
because it's a very positive affirmation that
Mhm.
like, oh, if someone believes in you, then you have to believe in yourself
Yeah,
as
yeah,
well.
yeah.
But as life goes on,
Mhm.
not all those expectations are good. Some of
Agree.
them
Yeah.
can be bad.
Mm-hmm.
And some of them can even turn into like these like labels
Yeah.
that like follow you around and stick with
Mhm.
you, right? So
Yeah.
like what about you? Have you ever like been given a label, or have you ever been stuck with a label or
Mhm.
reputation that you can't really shake off?
Okay. Well, I think in my family,
Mhm.
as the eldest daughter, one of the most significant label was that
Mhm.
I have to be the responsible one,
Mm-mm-mm.
the role model for my siblings,
Mm-mm.
and that transferred into being in school. I have to be the smart one, the
Mm-mm.
responsible one, the achiever,
Mm-mm.
and then now, as I've mentioned before, my parents are also in the insurance industry,
Right.
and they have been in the industry far longer than I have, and they are very successful, insurance
Business?
agents, business entrepreneurs.
Yes.
Yes,
Mm.
yeah. And when I first followed their footsteps, I'm called the second generation
Mm-mm.
because they're the first generation,
Mm-mm.
right?
Mm-mm.
And as a second generation in the insurance industry, people expect more from you
A little
because
bit.
you have
Yeah.
more resources compared to your peers that
You
are
have more
starting.
access.
Yeah, I have more access to my mentors. Whenever I am in trouble, I could just call them
Literally one call away.
one call away. And that kind of, people expect you to be as successful as your parents, as a second generation. And while that is good, it pushes me to work hard to
Mm-mm.
live up to that expectation.
Mm.
There's also this emotional like burden, like, oh, I
Oh.
have to like really succeed because I have to like this and that and this and that.
And so do you think that that label specifically, does it limit you to like the things that, oh, this is the only thing I can do, or
Mhm.
actually does it help you like push you forward?
I think as a second generation, my parents are, what are they, boomers, baby boomers?
I have no idea.
Yeah. Anyways,
Are our parents the same age?
yeah. Then
Okay,
are
so
they
like
boomers, late millennials. No, I think
the
they're
the
boomers.
ones before, yeah, those ones.
Yeah. Anyways, as a second generation, of course, you have to. That I think it kind of pushes me to work harder
Mm-mm.
in like work as
Yeah.
to live up to that label.
Right.
And also as a second generation, being the second generation, you tend to have a lot more ideas.
I guess.
Yeah, so
Like you're more creative.
yeah, because times have changed.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, we're not in their era anymore.
And you kind of have to like adapt as well to the
Yeah.
resources that are available to you and
Yeah,
are
yeah,
not
yeah.
available to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think even though yes there are plus points and minus points,
Yeah.
being a second generation and having that label kind of like, oh, I for this legacy to work, I want to try this, I want to try that, I have more access and I have more freedom to do that.
Yeah.
I think that's it. Yeah.
I guess that really means that if people really see you as something and you can
Mhm.
grow from that,
Mhm.
then it kind of also changes the way you think about these people who are in leadership or in
Yeah.
higher placements than
Mhm.
you are because of the way they believe in you, essentially,
Yeah.
right?
Do you have like any of that, like in terms of leadership, do you have like
Mm-mm-mm.
any beliefs that has changed after reading the
Oh,
book?
it's not very like specific,
Mhm.
but like you know how the general idea of leadership, at least when we grew up, we were
Mhm.
taught that the idea of leadership is this like one specific character of like
Yeah.
confidence, charismatic,
Uh-huh.
like this like alpha male situation, like very masculine like personality,
Uh-huh.
because leadership has always been for the longest time
Mhm.
described as a masculine trait.
Yeah.
Whereas nowadays, especially also growing up, I think both of us, I don't know if yours is more matriarchal or patriarchal family.
Uh, they're more equal. I don't
They are
know.
equal. Okay, but like I grew up in more of a matriarchal family where
Mhm.
the matriarchs are the ones kind of like leading and
Yeah.
like held being held in this like this highest position.
Mhm.
So for me, it was like I always knew leadership as like, oh, it can be both like a combination of femininity and also masculinity. And
Mhm.
leadership doesn't always have to be just like you have to be angry all the time, you have to take control all the time,
Uh-huh.
but it can also be like appreciating with grace, providing with
Okay.
empathy, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And that's a very common misconception with leadership itself. And I think as I'm reading through this book, I've always known that, but it kind of solidified that, oh, there are different types of leadership. You can't categorize it as just A. There's
Yeah.
like A, B, C, D, E. There's like multiple versions. Like my version of leadership versus your version of leadership would be completely different.
Yeah,
And
that's
that's
true.
okay
Yeah, yeah,
because
yeah.
that's just how leadership is.
Mm-hmm. And I think you know how in
Mhm.
insurance we also build teams, we
Yeah.
recruit people, and you know, when I recruit my team members, I see a lot of different personalities.
Mhm.
Everyone has their own personality,
Oh, yeah.
and even though they can be categorized into like several stereotypes,
Mhm.
they're all still essentially very different.
Definitely.
And as a leader, even though we strive towards the same goal,
Mhm.
which is for them to like succeed together,
Mhm.
we have to somehow adjust our ways when we talk to different types of people. And I think that like it kind of resonates with what you just said.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think, you know, as a young leader,
Yeah. Yeah. Young
young
leader.
leader, um, you know, I used to believe that my way was correct.
Oh no, for sure.
Yeah.
Like that's just a common misconception of leadership. It's like because the way you think is the way you were led to.
yeah.
So you're just reciprocating how you would have
Yeah.
abided
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
the leadership to.
Mhm.
But that form is not applicable to everyone.
Yes.
And that's the hardest lesson to learn.
yeah. And I think I'm still learning that, you know,
That
learning that
yeah.
everyone has their own like journey,
Mm-mm.
and as a leader we can only do
So
we can,
much.
yeah, we can only support them in
Yeah.
a way that, like, you know, I have to, as a leader you have to adjust to them, and I'm still learning that,
Yeah.
you know, learning how to like swallow my ego
Ooh.
and like, oh, really try to listen to like what they're
Yeah.
trying to say. But I think that's it for our fourth
Yeah.
episode.
A very
Wow.
quick
Very
and like
quick.
summary of like this
Yeah.
fourth one.
Yeah, but I think it's fun and it's a good book in
No, it was
general.
great. Yeah.
It was a good part. I think, you know, all in all, we both have different takeaways though from this
Yes.
part. What was it for you?
I think for me, it was one of the biggest takeaways is that it's not just about the leadership technique, especially in this part. It's not just about the leadership technique, but it's also a reminder that growth can happen in relationships,
Mhm.
whether it is between friends
Mhm.
or family or mentors
Mhm.
or like relationships. Did I
Yeah.
say that already? Yeah, but you get what I mean. But growth can happen anywhere, and
Yeah.
sometimes people can become someone who they are, can become someone, can become who they are
Mhm.
because of the potential that someone saw in them.
Like you did.
Yeah.
And I think one of the most powerful things that we can do as a leader, as a friend, as a
Mhm.
mentor is help people realize that they're capable of so much more.
Yeah.
It's such a good ending to the
It was a
book.
really great ending.
Yeah, but I think that's it for this final part of our the first book that we read.
Can I say
Yeah.
something?
Yeah.
I'm super glad it's done.
Use the word.
I'm like, okay, no offense to Dale Carnegie or anyone who loves reading nonfiction. I do not bond well with nonfiction. It's not my forte.
Yeah, but she will we will keep reading nonfiction books,
Mhm.
and we will read a new one in our next episode. And hopefully, we will bring like new co-host.
Ooh, spoiler.
Spoilers.
If you want to see spoilers, though, you should head on to our TikTok and our Instagram at
Instagram.
Paper Society Co. Maybe we'll spoil some the books we're gonna read in the future
Yeah.
or some future co-hosts.
Yeah.
You'll never know. But make sure you like this video and you subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. And you can also leave us a comment if you want to recommend some books or if you want to be our co-host.
Co-host.
Question mark? If not, send us a DM in Instagram or TikTok for that as well. And with that,
Yeah.
we'll see you in our next episode.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.